I know why you're here. You want to gain muscle and lose fat. Well, lucky for you, I'm gonna show you how to do it. Now, number one, most important thing, you've got to track everything. If you don't know what you're tracking, it's like getting dressed in the dark. You just don't know how it's going to turn out. So track your weight weekly. Now, weight isn't the most important thing out of everything, but it is a good indicator for certain things. Having a trend going up or down is going to help you. You're going to get fluctuations. That's normal. Depending on what you eat, how you sleep, your fiber intake, that is going to dictate your weight. Secondly, measurements. Measure your waist. Do body measurements every month. Not just your waist, everything, right? Because the weight isn't the only factor that's going to help you know whether you're making good progress or not. Doing measurements are going to help. If your waist is going up, you know you're in trouble. If it's going down, you're in a good spot. Finally, pictures. Now, pictures are so important. We all enjoy a picture, but you want to take pictures weekly so that you can chart your progress. Visually, it's so important. I have so many people, myself included, that the weight doesn't truly reflect how the changes are happening in the body. So looking at the pictures week on week is going to help you from getting discouraged. This little beauty is 1 pound of muscle. Now, lots of you think that this is really easy to get, and it is the hardest thing. This is 1 pound of fat, and that is very easy to get. This is 3,500 calories. Now, 1 pound of muscle a month is phenomenal, especially for someone that's trained a long time. If someone's trained a lot, you're looking at maybe 5 of these max a year, right? But newbie gains, we're looking at pound a month would be pretty phenomenal. But the only way you're going to achieve that is through good nutrition. Everyone trains, but very few people look at their diet and they get stuck. And that's why they don't make progress. So here's some tips that's going to help you to gain that muscle and keep the fat off. Number one, protein target. The most important thing on your whole journey. I like a higher protein diet in general. Protein is responsible for muscle growth, repair, and it helps in a calorie deficit through TEF, thermic effect of food. Your body has to process protein, and it burns calories processing protein more than any other macronutrient. You have so many studies to know that higher protein diets are more beneficial and you'll look leaner and have more muscle than a higher carbohydrate diet. That's just facts. So how much protein do you need? Well, 0.8 grams per 1 pound of body weight, up to 1.2 grams per pound of body weight. Depends on how much protein you want and how much you can have. I personally have 1.2 grams per pound of body weight. That's my preference. And I notice for me personally, and a lot of my clients, the more protein I have, the leaner I get and the more muscle I build. Now, carbohydrates are essential. They are not the devil. They're actually protein sparing. So what does this mean? It means that a higher carbohydrate diet means that you will preserve muscle mass easier, and you're going to get more anabolic and help you to grow muscle. Now, what are carbs? Carbs are energy. So what time do you really need the carbohydrates? If you're quite sensitive and gain weight easily, I always prefer to build carbohydrates first thing in the morning, pre-workout and post-workout. These are the times that we really need carbohydrates. You want to fuel your workouts. You don't want to starve yourself, you want to have energy for the workouts. Post-workout, you're looking to recover and refuel your body after that. Without that, your hard work in the gym is not as effective as what it could be. Now, I've done so many different diets, but carbs are really good, okay? Now, how many grams of carbs should you have? That's really person dependent, okay? You can kind of match that with your protein, or you can have a little lower, depending on working out how many calories you need daily. Now, fats, where do fats lie? Again, personal preference, but I actually prefer fats on the lower end. I prefer moderate carbs, moderate protein, lower fats. Fat's really good, but you're gonna get a lot of fats from the protein. But there are types of fats that are more essential, and we'll cover that in another video. Now, my preference for all my diets, myself and my clients included, is the 80-20 rule. So what does that mean? 80% whole, minimally processed foods. They're more satiating, they're more filling, and to be honest, they have more micronutrients and more benefits for muscle growth. And then 20% junk, 20% some stuff that I really enjoy. Burgers, chips, that kind of stuff. I'm not gonna sit here and say I eat like a monk, because I don't, okay? But for the most part, I really try and eat as good as possible, and you'll feel better. So when I have lots of heavily processed stuff, I start feeling more sluggish. And the big thing is, when you're trying to gain muscle, it slows down your rate of digestion, meaning you won't be able to get as many meals in and get the foods in as easily as you can. You eat good food, you'll be able to get those meals in with ease. Now finally, how many meals should you eat? Again, depends on the type of person you are, what your schedule's like. The best diet will be the one that you can adhere to the most. Anywhere from 4 to 6 meals a day is absolutely fine, and spread those protein servings out as evenly as you can. But the most important times for your protein would be first thing in the morning, because you fasted all night and you're in a catabolic state, meaning that your body is breaking down muscle tissue. So protein will shut that off and help you get back into an anabolic state. And then post-workout, you've just had a long workout, you've fasted, and your body now needs protein to start the muscle building process. After that, it's kind of preference as to where you space your protein meals out. Again, I like something before bed, mainly because I get so hungry, and I'll often wake up in the middle of the night really hungry. So protein is really satiating compared to any other macronutrient. So that's always a good thing I like to do. Now, when we're talking about gaining muscle, everyone's like, you need calories to grow muscle. Totally right. But you don't actually need as many calories as what you think you need. The quality of the calories is the most important. So I've done diets, I've done the dirty bulk. Have a look at the picture there. And it went terribly. I looked awful, I felt awful, my clothes didn't fit well, and I thought it was great because I was massive, but I was just fat. And now looking back, everyone should do a dirty bulk once, so you know it's a terrible idea and to never do it. But I was naturally so skinny. So for me, getting a bit fat was so much better than the alternative of just being skinny. Now, for most of you that are like not naturally skinny and, carry a little extra body fat, do not do my mistake of lots and lots of junk. Like I said, for the previous reasons, slows down digestion. It's just many reasons. It's not good. You're not going to feel great. When you're trying to gain muscle, you do need to progress your diet. So just like in the gym, when you're progressing the weights, you need to progress your calories up or down if you're trying to lose body fat. And this is something that people don't do. They don't look at their diet as a progressive thing. They think they've got this diet and that's it. That's what I'm gonna follow. And you're missing out on progress if you think like that. That's where the check-ins, the measurements, the pictures, all that kind of stuff is gonna help you to look at your diet and think, what do I need to do? How's my performance in the gym? How am I looking? How's the weight gain? Visually, am I gaining too much fat or am I not? You want to progress your diet 200 to 300 calorie increments, okay? You don't wanna shuttle in 1,000 calories like I've done before. Terrible idea. 200 to 300 calories, have a look, take the measurements, take the pictures, see how you're feeling. If you're gaining a huge amount of weight, leave it there. If you're not gaining weight, add another 200 to 300 calories. If you're maintaining or going down, then add another 200 to 300 calories. That's how you want to look at it. And you're progressing your diet until you get to a point where inevitably you're gaining too much fat and then you go in the diet phase. Big one now, training. So many people, they come to me and like, yeah, Tom, my training is good, but they're not gaining muscle. And I'm like, well, clearly it's not good, is it? Now, the big factor that people are not doing, and it blows my mind, is progressive overload. And everyone thinks they know what progressive overload is. Progressive overload, what is it? It is increasing your reps or your weights, decreasing your tempo, or increasing the quality of your form every week. Now, one of those requirements has to be met. Not all of them, okay? And not every exercise will be able to go up all the time, but couple times in a session, you need to get progressions. Now, it's normal that not every week you're going to get huge progressions. We're looking at micro progressions here because consistency is the key. But most people are they're slamming on weight, compromising form, and doing the worst form possible because they think that's progressive overload, and you're wrong. And you're missing out on so much quality there. So you nail those variables and your physique will just improve. A lot of people, they don't train hard. And what do I mean by that? You're not getting close to failure. Whenever I train someone, they've stopped. And I'm like, why have you stopped? You've got more. And they're like, no, that's it. And I'm like, it's not it. Training hard is a skill that you can learn over time. And if you've never been shown or never felt that level of failure, it's going to be hard for you to get there. But you can get there. Intensity or volume. Intensity is training as close to failure as possible. That's going to be a very quick route, and that's my preferred favor of how to get maximal muscle gain. I've never really done volume. I've done volume, and all that happened was I got skinny. Now, that doesn't mean volume is the wrong way. It just depends on body types and your level of experience and how you prefer to train. For me and my clients, I have limited time to train. I don't want to spend hours in the gym. For me, it's 45 minutes to an hour max. You can't do both. You can't have a lot of volume and have a lot of intensity. So pick one. And that's how you're going to make a lot of progress real fast. Now, if you see steam wafting over, I don't have a smoke machine. I'm sitting by a hot tub, which I'm totally thinking about getting in after this. We're filming in lovely Cambridge where it's summertime and the heavens have opened and it's just raining all the time.
Actually hammering it down, isn't it?
What should you do in the gym? Should you be doing cute little banded, cuffed exercises that you see all your favorite Insta influencers doing? No, you should not, because you're not them and you have a full-time job and you actually have stresses. So what should you focus on? Compound movements. Most of you are not that strong, okay? And getting a level of foundation built is going to be a great way of getting that muscle. As you progress and your body changes, you can change into certain other things, but most of you should focus on compound movements. It's how I built a lot of muscle. I focused on getting really good at some good movements. Bent over row, squat, a deadlift variation. Compound movement, what is it? A compound movement simply is a multi-joint exercise, i.e. a movement that uses more than one muscle group. So in a squat, you are not just using your quads, you're using core, quads, glutes, hamstrings, the works, okay? Deadlift, you're working everything except for the chest. These are movements that are time efficient, they are quite draining on your central nervous system, i.e. they require a lot of energy, but you're getting a lot of bang for your buck for the time invested. Isolation movements are single muscle group movements. Leg extension just works the quads. Tricep push down, just triceps. Bicep curl, biceps. A mixture is both, but when you're trying to grow muscle initially, compounds with a little sprinkle of isolations and you're good to go. A bench press. I don't like a barbell bench press, a flat barbell. I prefer a dumbbell or a decline for chest. Focus on getting incredible at these movements and progressing them. These are quite easy to progress. Once you're at a good level of strength, then you can worry about tweaking little other things. But most of you are not at that level. You haven't acquired a huge amount of muscle and you want to be as time efficient as possible. So if you've got to do lots of band setups and cuffs and do like all these little one-arm things, it's going to take you a lot longer. And most of you have full-time jobs, families, and responsibilities. So let's get in the gym quick and enjoy the time and get out. We don't need to live in the gym. It's there to help us enhance our lives. There is a time and place where those isolations are great and that will come. But most of the time, I like to pick 4 or 5 exercises. And my preferred split, push-pull legs. I really like that split. And it's a good way of starting off and then you can diversify because I train 3 to 4 times a week in the gym. That is it. Now, do you need to train 5-6 days a week in the gym? For most of you, again, I would say no, because you recover outside of the gym. All the muscle growth happens outside of the gym. So if you're living in the gym and you're not sleeping well and you're not eating well and you've got actual things to do, that 5 to 6 days in the week is probably the worst thing you can ever do. If we're talking purely muscle growth, 3 to 4 days a week is plenty for most people. Now, to stay lean and also to make sure that your performance in the gym is really, really good, cardio. Something I completely avoided as I was younger because I was like, I don't want to lose my gains. And I was an idiot. So make sure you do your cardio. Now, how much cardio do you need to do? That's the question. I personally think it's individual, but I think a minimum you want to do is kind of 3 20-minute long steady state cardio sessions a week, along with a step goal. Most of you are thinking 10K steps is crazy. I think you're mad. But anywhere from 8 to 10K steps a day, I feel like as an adult, that should be pretty doable. So HIIT cardio, what is that? That's intervals. I think HIIT cardio for a lot of people, especially if you're overweight, is probably not the most appropriate thing. There's a higher risk and it's quite energy draining. As you get fitter and your goals, move about, sure, give it a shot. A level of cardio is really important, just for your ability to perform in the sets, just overall health, and minimizing that fat gain. So important. What are my preferred cardio options? Number one, everyone hates it, I love it, Stairmaster. That is your most bang for buck cardio movement. I don't want to hear you moaning that you hate the Stairmaster. Listen to a podcast, watch Netflix, enjoy it, okay? That is your most bang for buck movement for calorie expenditure. Then you're looking at cross trainer as number 2. Hold on to it, move those arms, you're gonna burn a lot of calories. And then after that, you're looking at like an incline walk, okay? And then after that, whatever you prefer. But those are my preferred cardio movements. Now, steps. Steps are one of the most underrated things. And if you track that, I actually drop a huge amount of body fat and stay relatively lean just through a high level of steps every day. 8 to 10K, as we said before, is the minimum you should do. But if you really want to get after it and get nice and lean, you're looking at 15 to 20K. It's a great way. It's neat. Okay, so that's non-exercise activity thermogenesis. And this is really important. This is just your everyday movement. It's like this kind of stuff. That's burning calories. Walking about, moving how we are intended will keep you lean. And it's so low energy. Steps is a really great thing for you to not sleep on. Now steps, what could you do? You're busy, you got a job, you got a family. How are you gonna fit steps in? Super simple. Get up early, go for a quick little 30-minute walk. I actually really recommend that just for mental health. Having a nice walk first thing in the morning, you have no idea how much clarity and peace you can get from that simple thing. Fitting in a little walk around your lunchtime at work, just a quick little walk. I mean, you can sit in your office and just sit there, or you can go out and have a nice little walk, get the sun. If you don't have sun, get air. It's such an easy way. And so many people make so many excuses of, I don't have time for steps. You're lying to yourself. Do some steps. Final piece of the puzzle of gains, the most important part, recovery. You're not going to get anywhere fast without the recovery. Now, I will say this, while sleep is super important, I think it's quite underrated because I still made incredible progress with terrible sleep. 6 to 8 hours sleep, very individual. That's how you're going to grow your muscle the best. Your cravings will go down the more you sleep. The less you sleep, the more ghrelin, that's the hunger hormone, will shoot up. And that's why your cravings get so high. I actually love a nap. I book myself in for a nap quite a lot during the day because I can't usually get 8 solid hours. So I have my 6.5, 7 hours, and then I book a nap in and I'm good. What else can you do for recovery? I actually think active recovery is really good. As we said before, steps, walking, getting out there, getting that sun exposure, so important for recovery. Protein is part of the recovery process. And lowering your stress levels. Cortisol, that's the stress hormone. Having high amounts of that. I've been through so many stressful times in my life. Crazy stress. Progress completely stalled. I was trying everything, it just wouldn't work. Finding a way to lower your cortisol, your stress levels, is gonna be so important. How do you do that? I mean, that depends on you. Doing your hobbies, spending time with loved ones, having some kind of passion, interest. For me, comic book nerd, love the comics. Great music, read some comics. It's gonna de-stress me a little bit. For you, who knows what you're into? Everyone's different. And if you like what you're seeing, it would really help me out. If you could like and subscribe to the channel, it would help me out so much. Thank you.